Hello, Cherry XD here, and today we'll be reading a fic called Café Flirt by Nove123. I hope you enjoy this, and please tell me what you guys think in the comments. Goodbye. Café Flirt, written by Nove123, read by Cherry XD. Summary. After All Might crushed Izuku's ambitions to become a hero, he opened a cafe. During this time, he quickly took a liking to a certain boy, and they became friends and grew feelings for each other. But they're too stubborn to admit it. Izuku was taking a late shift as one of his colleagues was sick, an occurrence that was expected around Christmas time. The winter was a time where most people would get sick, an occasional cold or spike of flu. Yes, Izuku was the owner of the cafe, but he still worked like a normal staff. And yes, half of the people that Izuku considered staff were cats, but that's not a problem. It never was. He never minded the extra work, but then again, he wasn't doing it for the sake of it. He was doing it because he wanted to see a certain boy. Was he going to come today? Izuku hoped he did. He always loved seeing his eyes. Izuku flushed like pink as he thought of him. What? No. He didn't like him. He was just a friend. Yeah, a friend that he wanted to kiss and had liked for the past few months. Okay, maybe he had a small amount of affection for the capsus boy, but he found that he didn't mind thinking about him. He felt comfortable to Izuku. He was thinking about all of this as he was reading his book and drinking coffee. Due to being distracted so much, he didn't realize the boy gazing through the decorative window at Izuku. Hitoshi Shinso was looking through the window animatedly as he gazed at the fluffy green-haired teen. Shinso didn't know why he felt an impulse to be with the boy, but Shinso knew it was because of the affection he had for the boy. What? No. He didn't like him. He was just a friend he'd been flirting for months with. Or two. Okay, maybe he had a small crush on him. Shinso took a breath and tried to get his face back from a flushed pink to more of a pale and neutral expression as he stepped into the cafe. Izuku hadn't realized who had walked in and started to speak as any employee would. Hello, welcome to the Midoriya Cat Cafe. How may I help? Izuku sounded remotely happy, but Shinso could tell that this was more kind, but fake at the same time. Izuku had been cut off as his expression softened, as his face relaxed and he saw the pebble-haired teen smile at Izuku. Shinso-kan, how nice to see you again. Still coming at night rather than sleeping, I see. Izuku smiled as he walked beside Shinso, and Ali brushed his hand by the other boy, making both turn a shade of bright pink. Well, I clearly don't sleep, and neither do you, so we're pretty even. Shinso chuckled as he saw Izuku dart back behind the counter and start making up a cup of coffee. Not even asking what I want. So close to Christmas as well. Shinso teased Izuku playfully as he sat down to the table next to the counter. Yes, he had to admit, the reaction on Izuku's face was close to making anyone fall for him. Who wouldn't? No, who couldn't? Shinso-kan, you get the exact same thing every time, so I don't really need to ask. Or did you expect me to? I'm so sorry. Izuku got cut off by Shinso's words. Okay, calm down, cutie. Shinso was surprised about what he says as much as Izuku was. Okay, Izuku stammers as he took the coffee and the cat-shaped cake to the table by the counter that Shinso was now sitting on. Well, do you want to sit? Shinso grabbed Izuku's hand, earning a small smile as Izuku agreed, and took the coffee that had been drinking, and sat down with a skeptical look at Shinso. Can I rant to you about my class? They're way too loud and much too noisy. Shinso drawled on as he gave Izuku a smack. You're gonna do that anyways? Go ahead, Shinso-kan. Izuku said with a light chuckle, as Shinso blushed of both embarrassment and the cuteness of his crush. Wait, no. Crush can't be. But Shinso can't deny it any longer. He liked the boy. Well, let's start with the most quiet people in my class. Well, my teacher. He's the only one who can keep quiet, but it still counts. Shinso said as he placed his hands behind his head and leaned back slightly. Izuku looked up and laughed. Shinso, your teacher's literally your dad. So, he's still the most quiet person in that classroom. Shinso looked and sounded justified as he took a peek at Izuku's eyes. They looked so beautiful and reminded him of a cat's wide eyes. He was so focused that he didn't care the fact that he was staring a bit too long. Shinso-kan, you're zoning out. Izuku was waving a hand at Shinso's face with a worried expression. What? Oh, sorry, I didn't realize. Shinso was cut off by a warm pair of fingers on his lips that made him go a deep crimson shade. Shinso hated to admit it, but he liked the feeling the boy gave him. God, Shinso was a simp. A simp that was openly flirting with his crush. Izuku laughed and said, "Oh, Shinso, you never failed to surprise me." Shinso blushed and mumbled something under his breath. "Yeah, but I failed to get your number multiple times." Izuku pretended he didn't hear, but his face flushed another shade of crimson. "Hey, Shinso, can I get something from the back?" Izuku fidgeted with some loose threads on his apron that he had on as Shinso nodded. "Thanks, I'll be back in a minute." Izuku jumped to his feet and sprinted to the door at the corner of the room. Shinso chuckled again at the reaction of the broccoli teen. At the back of the cafe, Izuku was having a full-on panic attack. Shinso, the Shinso Hitoshi, the boy he had a crush on since forever. God, Izuku was flirting too much. After the minor panic attack, Izuku grabbed a piece of paper and some crayons. He didn't know what he was doing, but he knew it was going to be okay. Well, as okay as possible. At the end of the conversation that Shinso and Izuku had been having that night, Shinso said he had needed to go home. Izuku looked sad, but more nervous if anything. Izuku went to grab the bill and placed it on the table for Shinso to see. Just after Izuku had placed the bill on the table, he had darted behind the counter and pretended to be doing something, it seemed. Shinso didn't know what he was doing, but he took a look at the bill. There was a bill there, but there was also a small note that he didn't even recognize. But he looked at it anyways. "Dear Shinso-kun, I hope you see this as it would have been extremely embarrassing if you didn't. Anyways, I overheard that you were failing to get my number. So, I disagree, and here's my number on this card. And anywho, you can text me tonight? If you can, please do, as I would love to chat more about you and your cloud class with a caterpillar for a teacher. See you soon. Yours truly, Midoriya Izuku." P.S. I'm free for a week. Want to meet then? Shinso looked shocked for a good 5 seconds before he smiled and tucked the note into his pocket. He looked back at the counter with a tuft of green hair poking out and chuckled. "See you later, cutie," making both of the boys blush an even darker shade of red. After Shinso left, a man with all black and yellow glasses and belt walked out of the shadows and chuckled slyly. "Wow, problem child, a boyfriend already? Zashi and Ebi and Eri will be happy to hear this." Shota Aizawa smirked as he left to go home with an amused expression on his face, hidden by his capture weapon. And there you have it. That was Café Flirt by Nove123. I hope you enjoyed this fic as much as I did. I loved doing this, and I plan to make many more. Please give me suggestions for fics you think I should do. I have a few lined up that I really want to get started with, but I don't know what else you guys want me to do. If you guys want to recommend ships, you want to see more Dadzawa or anything, but you guys can tell me what you guys like, and please tell me what you think about this. I know this wasn't the best because I kept on stuttering, and I have to admit I did change a few words inside the fic because I completely got it wrong and didn't know how to talk for a few seconds. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I see you later. Bye.